Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope everyone's been doing well. It's officially been a week into the new year, and I hope that you're a step closer to any kind of New Year's resolutions that you had or any goals that you had so far. Now, without a doubt, my most popular video so far on this channel has been my video on The Menu, a movie that I saw, and like 2 days later, I just wanted to give some thoughts about. And I really like that movie, and I really like the reception that it's getting. A lot of support, a lot of traction, but there are a lot of comments that indicated that I should make a spoiler version of this video, which is valid because I feel like I didn't get to articulate all the points that I wanted to in the main video. I kind of forgot that spoiler alerts were a thing, so that's the point of this video. Just gonna discuss more things that I feel like I wanted to touch more upon, expand on, whatever. I won't be repeating any of the points that I had in the last video. I mean, I guess I will for context, but I won't be giving such a detailed introduction like I did in the first video. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, watch that first video. This video is purely for expanding, using the spoilers in this movie to more emphasize my points. And without further ado, if you like this movie, if you want to talk more about it in the comments, maybe touch on some things that I might miss in this video, comment down below. Hit like and subscribe if you're interested in everything movies, or you're just interested in what I have to say in anything in the future. You just want to stick around. So any support is appreciated, and on with the video. The first thing I want to start off with is why the chef is doing this. As I mentioned before, this movie is a clear attack on consumerism, but I think I should have been a bit more specific. I think that it falls more into a critique of consumerism within the upper class. Thinking about this movie more thoroughly, this time around I concluded that this movie is talking about how differently the rich elitists of the world consume things rather than the working class. This is clearly shown by Margaret's character specifically. Her humble background combined with the chef's humble background really emphasizes this point, and she actually uses this to her advantage later in the movie, but we'll get back to that when we get to that. But back on topic, I think the main reason that the chef orchestrated this whole thing was to punish these elitists and these pretentious individuals because they ruined his love for his work. When these people use their money or food journalism sites to put out on front for being experts, they're undermining or overselling the actual experience of appreciating the food. My only guess is that the chef was tired of this shallowness and wanted to make these people realize their sins in probably the most out-of-pocket, brutal way possible, like cutting their fingers off, launching them from the air, exposing their tax fraud. God damn, man, that is not right. But you know, it's not enough to expose the rich. You might as well burn them alive too, you know. That's just the best way to handle the situation, you know. So yeah, I think it's clear that the chef's motivation is purely based on his distasteful for how the upper class puts a front and basically ruins what he does. It's an attack on consumerism, but unlike in the last video, I said my consumerism point was more general. This time I'm gonna expand on it. It's definitely more towards the elitists and how they like to consume things. The next point I want to bring up that I think really elevates these themes is Nicholas Holt's character Tyler. It's revealed in the movie that he knew that death was coming for the people on this ship, but he didn't care because he really wanted to try the food. I mentioned in my last video that he could represent the everyday consumer, that he would take anything that any mainstream thing shits out nowadays, but I don't think I was right on that. After he tries to cook a meal and ends up killing himself, I think I came up with a better interpretation. I think he's also a part of the pretentious group of consumers, but he's the type of pretentious consumer that thinks he can replicate and do exactly what the actual people who were trained and studied years at school for in a single try. I think him taking pictures of the food while being explicitly not to represents his carelessness and disrespect of the art. So when he tries to replicate it and fails to do it, he kills himself. Now the suicide itself is left pretty vague because it only happens as a result of something that the chef told him that we don't actually get to hear. But I guess it could mean, let's say, people who are amateurs who think they can replicate art end up dead, jobless, or homeless, that because they're so pretentious and think they could do everything just because they apparently love it so much that they don't need a training for it, they usually end up in the gutter. So I don't know, it's kind of left very vague in my opinion, and it could go in multiple directions. So if you have any interpretations of it, let me know in the comments for sure. Now I want to talk about Margaret. She's easily the most important person in the film and easily elevates the themes and the messaging of this movie that actually allows her to escape at the end. It's revealed in the movie that she wasn't supposed to be there, alright, that she was a last minute inclusion because she was dating Tyler at the time. The chef immediately picks up on this and tells her that she shouldn't be here. She isn't the type of person that he's after, and that is made very clear when she doesn't eat any of his food. The funny thing is that he doesn't want to kill her. He tries to give her multiple outs at the beginning of the movie, but obviously she wouldn't believe a word that this crazy man is saying after one of his chefs kills himself and, he cuts off the other person's fingers off. However, we learn that Margaret is a sex worker, a person most likely in the working class, most likely struggling for money to get by, but also, like the chef, is providing a type of service. This leads to the chef sympathizing with her because he knows what it's like to work and struggle to get by. However, she can't relate to him just yet. She can't reach out just yet because she doesn't know his history. It's not until she starts snooping around in his cottage and discovers a newspaper article about him being Employee of the Month at some burger place where everything starts to come into place. Now, the whole way she escapes is actually pretty awesome in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, I did have to do some research on it because I didn't get it at my first viewing, and I don't think any of my other friends did too, because I saw this movie with like 4 other people, but it's really cool. So I'm gonna break this down real quick. The chef, so far we know, is a person tired of the upper class's superficiality when it comes to consuming products, making him hate what he used to love doing for a living. We know that. However, this whole act of killing people, serving dishes that obviously are underportioned, and letting the men escape for a couple seconds is completely useless to his goals. Even while criticizing the elitist system, he himself has become a victim to it. He wants to be praised. He wants his cooking to be loved by the world. He's what an American 80s pop punk band called Green Day would say, a walking contradiction. I didn't put this part together myself until I questioned why did he kill himself along with his workers. This could have been some crusade he did which ended with him being alive, but no, he knew that he had to go too, so he and his workers killed themselves in the process. However, Margaret picks up on this when she reads that newspaper and uses it to her advantage to escape. She calls him out for not being able to fill her up, that she's still hungry, that she isn't satisfied with his quote-unquote perfect menu, which sets some kind of traumatic release in him, like he just came out of hypnosis or a trance, for example. He then asks her what she wants, and she asks for a cheeseburger, a simple cheeseburger, nothing fancy at all, the same kind of cheeseburger that an Employee of the Month at a burger place would cook. I think the combination of calling him out and making him cook something that he actually enjoys, that he hasn't had a love for in probably years, with just connecting with him into his humanity, was enough to set her free. However, that doesn't end up as well for everyone else, and they all die in the suffering flame, but that's okay because I didn't like them anyway. The menu is really good, and I think it's one of the best movies of this year. I love the allegories it has. I love what it has to say about the upper class, the consumerism, how toxic that environment can be, and what it has done to our society. But just as a movie, it's really good too. I really, really do like it. There's some things that I left out because I didn't think it worked for my interpretation of the movie. The exclusion of, let's say, the Asian server subplot, why she was so eager to or desperate to not be replaced was weird. I didn't know how to fit that in the video. Or the guy who cheated on his wife subplot with Margaret, I think, because she was a sex worker and they knew each other. Just stuff like that I didn't know how to incorporate in this video. I didn't think it really had any room to fit the narrative or fit what I'm talking about here with the themes. But if you guys know about those things, if you want to try to interpret that in your own way, feel free to do so. Or if you have any interpretations that are different from mine, because everyone interprets a movie in very different ways, it doesn't have to be exclusive. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm very interested to see what people think of this movie and how they interpret it. But that's it for me. I talked about mostly everything I wanted to talk about in this movie with some spoilers, just to advance on it, expand on it. I really like this movie. What did you think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What interpretation do you have in it? Leave in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please hit thumbs up. And if you want more stuff coming out soon, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this format we're doing. The feedback would be really appreciated. And my next video, upon request, is going to be Tron Legacy. That should be the next thing coming up. And if you have any other requests, let me know. But that's it. Thank you all, and have a good day.